I don't know if you guys saw this headline. I guess the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is looking into Prime by Logan Paul and KSI for having high amounts of caffeine in the drink. Although from the headlines that I read, there's a lot of people trying to use a scary headline of like, it has the same amount of caffeine as 6 Coke cans. But then if you read the fine print, it only has 200 milligrams of caffeine, which isn't unprecedented. Like these GFuel cans that I drink, these have 300. And this is a 16 ounce can. I think the Prime ones are 12. So that might be the difference. But I want to read one of these articles in detail. Let's read what Dexerto says. Prime Energy labeled serious health concern by U.S. Senator calling for investigation. Logan Paul and KSI's Prime Energy drink has been wildly successful since its launch in January 2023, though not without its controversies. Chief among these controversies is Prime's effect on the younger members of KSI and Logan Paul's audience. For example, a school in Wales had to issue a warning to parents in regards to the energy drink when a student suffered a cardiac episode after drinking a can. I'm dyslexic, dude. Holy shit. Now, Democratic U.S. Senator Charles Schumer has called on the Food and Drug Administration, commonly known as the FDA, to investigate Prime thanks to the drink's caffeine levels. For those who may not know, Prime is an energy drink advertised as adding no added sugar and 200 milligrams of caffeine per can. For context, that's 120 milligrams more than a Red Bull and 40 more than a Monster. Yeah, but GFuel has 300. So is GFuel really like in sort of a league of its own having 300? Is that like really unusual? I know the size of the can matters too, which they haven't referenced here yet, right? Like if it's more diluted, that matters. While Prime Energy is labeled as not recommended for children under 18, according to the website's FAQ, one of Senator Schumer's key points is his letter to the FDA was that parents could easily mistake Prime Energy for Prime Hydration. One has no caffeine while the other has 200 milligrams. Yeah, well, that's all energy drinks, so. According to Schumer, many parents believe they were simply purchasing a juice drink for their kid, but instead gave them a cauldron of caffeine. That sounds like that's on the parents. Ultimately, it remains to be seen if the FDA will end up investigating Prime, though it's clear it's caught the eye of members of U.S. Congress. Yeah, I don't know. That seems kind of silly. If they're going to come after Logan and KSI for having a caffeinated and non-caffeinated drink, and what are the parents upset about? That like one's caffeinated and one's not? Do they just want to write caffeine right across the middle? I don't know. Yeah, I like how. So what's the size? Logan Paul Prime drink nutritional facts. Yeah, because this would probably show us the size, right? I hope this would show us the size. This doesn't list caffeine here at all. 12 fluid ounces. Okay, so that's definitely smaller than this. Again, for reference, this is the GFuel ones are 16 fluid ounces, and these have 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is quite a bit. And I think there's a rumor that GFuel is going to be releasing cans soon with only 150 milligrams of caffeine, or only 200. 200 milligrams of caffeine per 12-ounce can. Is that significant? What would the equivalent be? Can we do like a ratio? I can pull out a calculator. So like I'm trying to think like 200 milligrams of caffeine to a 12-ounce can is the same as how much to a 16-ounce can, so I can get an idea. So what would we have to do? We'd have to do 200 times 16 divided by 12, right? 266? Okay. So technically a GFuel can has more caffeine per ounce than a Prime energy drink does. Yeah, I always love how there's like, because our obsession with like sugar being like the evil thing. I don't even know enough about it, but doesn't it seem like such a marketing gimmick for them for like all drinks to put like zero sugar or like just put zero fat on everything when there's probably some reason for that to actually be good for you, but we would just want to have zero of it because we associate those things as being bad. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. If this is all based off of the fact that parents just didn't look closely enough at the ingredient, that's on the parents, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the kids definitely heard about it, but and probably told their parents to buy it, but then it's the parents' due diligence to actually like look at the can and figure out what it is. Also, if you're like, I don't know, it's a horrible story, right? Of that kid that suffered cardiac arrest, but like, I'm sorry. If you're suffering, if you're going into cardiac arrest, where was it? Where's the story? Yeah. Energy drink when a student suffered a cardiac episode after drinking a can. That probably means that student should have been drinking any caffeine at all. So the parents just made a mistake. So that's not really Prime's fault. You know what I mean? What happened while we talked about Prime? There's a headline recently that Prime Energy labeled a serious health concern by a U.S. senator calling for investigation. How could you mistake Prime hydration? It legit says hydration on the bottle. Yeah, I know. GFuel cans are the exact same way. Like they have like a hydration formula which has no caffeine, and then just like their regular cans and their powder and stuff. Yeah, that is interesting though that it has that much more than Monster and what did they say? Red Bull too. Yeah, but like okay, Red Bull can't. Red Bull nutritional facts. No, I don't want to read an article that's titled "What are the side effects." I just want nutritional facts. That article is definitely. Dude, is it too much to ask just to see the back of a Red Bull can? I just want to know how much caffeine it has. Well, like, what are the fluid ounces here? Oh, okay, so Red Bulls are pretty small. See, that's what's kind of disingenuous about this whole thing. If Red Bull's only 8 ounces and Prime is 12, and you're comparing like caffeine sizes, you got to show the size of the can, right? 120 milligrams more than caffeine. Yeah, because then parents who aren't doing their research already, trying to figure out buying their kids caffeine versus non-caffeinated drinks, are going to read this and be like, "Oh wow!" And they're like, "What's the average size?" I think Monsters are like 16 ounces too, right? I'm pretty sure. How do you have 1.2 mil subs and 50 people in your stream? I banned everybody that watches me. No, I mean I've just gone through a lot of swings. Was kind of inconsistent with content. Haven't been consistent with as much stuff as I need to be. Um, yeah, so just working on getting back up there. 300 milligrams for 16 ounces is 225 for 12 ounces. Yeah, and then what is that for 8? I wonder, because that's what they're comparing it to, right? I don't know. Kind of a silly story. I feel like. Let's see what Fox Business has to say. What the hell? One of the summer's hottest status symbols for kids is not an outfit or a toy, it's a beverage, wrote Schumer. Not buyer and parents beware because it's a serious health concern for kids. It so feverishly targets. Jesus Christ. Was this person, Schumer was definitely paid by Monster and Red Bull, right? To say something about Prime, I bet, with how successful Prime's been. Prime is like insanely successful at how many units they've sold. The company has defended the product, arguing that Prime's energy drinks have labels to warn customers that the beverages are not recommended for children under 18. Prime also sells a different sports drink called Prime Hydration, which does not contain any caffeine. Schumer argued that there is little noticeable difference in Prime's online marketing for its energy drink versus its non-caffeinated sports drink counterpart, which has caused many parents to think they were buying a healthier drink for their kids, only to find that they've given their kids a cauldron of caffeine. Prime is advertised as being a vegan product and having zero sugar, but its energy drink contains 200 milligrams of caffeine per 12 ounces, an amount that's equivalent to about half a dozen cans of Coca-Cola or nearly 2 Red Bull energy drinks. How much caffeine in Red Bull? 111. The caffeine content prompted some schools in Australia and the UK to ban the energy drink, as some pediatricians warned its consumption could lead to possible health issues in children, including heart problems, anxiety, and digestive issues. Yeah, again, but people are going to read with that, though, is it's like that has nothing to do with just Prime itself, most likely, right? Like if the focus of this is only caffeine, then that's just an issue with all caffeinated beverages, right? And we're only talking about Prime just because it's like a hot thing right now and kids are obsessed with Logan Paul and KSI, right? Prime drew a significant amount of interest from younger consumers who formed long lines at grocery stores. The extreme demand and popularity among younger consumers reportedly led to instances of schoolyard resale markets for the energy drink. That's fucking wild. Yeah, they sell in 12 ounce. Earlier this month, Prime was announced as the official sports drink of the NFC. A simple search on social media for Prime will generate an eye-popping amount of sponsored content, which is advertising. Yes, Schumer wrote. This content and the claims made should be investigated, along with the ingredients and the caffeine amount in the Prime energy drink. Jesus Christ, dude. Prime did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So embarrassing, dude. Like, it's just, I don't know, it seems like pearl clutching or just like what are we doing? Just like read the back of the can. No, learn what you're buying your kids. This seems like it falls totally on the parents. There's nothing illegal about caffeine. I don't think it's terrible for kids to be having caffeine in like reasonable doses. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be giving a middle schooler 300 or 200 milligrams of caffeine with high amounts of concentration in like a 12 ounce can. It's not a good thing. Unless you have like a giant 12-year-old kid. So yeah, just do your research, parents. I don't know what to say. Seems like a dumb story in my opinion.